Hello, good morning, and welcome to forexforsteadyprofit.com. I use the Commitment of Traders report, which comes out every week on a Friday, and I need to give me an idea of market direction. I analyze the ratios of longs to shorts for the commercials and non-commercials, and I also look at the divergence on the pairs, and it gives me an idea of market direction. We'll just go and have a quick look at the charts. So here we have the Commitment of Traders information in its raw form. You get the non-commercial positions and the commercial positions, long and short, and then you get the change in open interest. And you also get that broken down underneath for longs and shorts for both the commercials and the non-commercials. And we can see this broken down into a graph over a period of time, which also gives us comparatives, which are also very useful to look back on the history. And so we'll go and do that right now. And here we have a graph of the positions over 52 weeks, that's a year, for the commitment of traders of the commercials and non-commercials. And this is for the Australian dollar. This chart is produced by cotbase.com. And you can see here where we got to a low position with the commercials, and we're completely opposite to the speculators, and they've got a long position, so we're short. You can see we had a big drop off in the price of the Australian dollar. Conversely, when we were at a high and very bullish for the commercials, and we were fairly bearish for the non-commercials, that we actually had a hike in the rise of the price of the Australian dollar. This is a very useful tool to be using, and we can show you other ways that we use it and other things that we do with it. So here we have the Australian dollar, US dollar, and we've got the RSI. Now if we put a trend line on the RSI and we wait for it to go above the 69.1 and come back down and cut through it, this gives us a sell signal. Now this obviously would have been a very good sell signal here. We had a sell signal here indicating this big long fall that we've had, and quite recently we've had a rise in the price of the Australian dollar, which is just going through the 50 here, and I'm expecting it to turn back down and cut through the trend line, which will give us another sell signal because we have an extreme position of short the commercials and long the non-commercials on the Commitment of Traders report, and this should be quite a long sustained downward trend, which is always very profitable. Last bit of information, this is Ludwig's divergence calculator, and it works really well, and this helps us with the crosses. These are the currencies against the US dollar, and here we have the crosses calculated, and it gives us a divergence value between the commercials and the non-commercials, and it shows some of the pairs that are of more interest than others. A very useful tool, only available on the Members Centre, and it's the pairs that are of most interest we do feature on the video on the Members Centre every day, so you get a daily video on those. Good morning and welcome. It's Monday the 27th of November and it's just after 6 o'clock. So we'll start as ever with the AUD USD. The Commitment of Traders report is out tonight at 8:30 GMT. So I'll have to do that report tonight, maybe do the video in the morning. Okay, well, there we go. Australian dollar USD. We've had a little bit of pullback the last couple of days, so that's Friday and Monday. I am expecting a bit more upside from this, so I'll give it a couple more days and see where it goes. But I think it might get up towards the 77 mark. We'll see. If it does, I'll be putting another short in there. We're just below the 20-day moving average at the moment. The pound US dollar, the pound has had a bit of strength. It's gone a little bit higher than I thought. It's gone above the blue line. I'm looking for this to turn back down now. It has actually, if you put a trend line up there, it has actually made a little bit of a turn down. I'm going to give it a couple more days, see if there's any more left in it. We've got a commercial short ratio of 1.09 and a short ratio for the speculators. So we'll see if there's a little bit more strength left in that. And US dollar, Canadian dollar. We're down at the moment on a little bit of support, but I am expecting more strength on the US dollar and weakness to unfolds into the Canadian dollar. The oil price at the moment is really high, and I'm expecting that to fall. If you look at the commitment of traders from last week, you can see how oversold the commercials are on the oil price. So we're just slightly above the 50 on the RSI, and I'm expecting that a bounce up from here. Euro dollar. We've had a really nice bounce up on the euro dollar, which I think is a good selling opportunity. We bounced up on the RSI and we've gone up to nearly 69, and I see this as a good sell back down. We got a short ratio of 1.59 to 1. We'll see where this goes the rest of the week, but it's coming up now into a little bit of resistance, and I think it should turn back down. USD, Japanese yen, we'll get a couple of days of a pullback here, and now we're coming back down again. We've had a little bit of strength over the weekend for the Japanese yen. A commercial ratio of 4.58 long for the yen. So that's short for the pair, but long for the yen. We're well below the 50 on the RSI, and we are sort of slightly pointing down at the moment. USD, a Swiss franc. We've had quite a bit of strength in the Swiss franc, and I've got one trade in short at the moment. Commercial long ratio of 7.75 to 1. I prefer the Swiss franc on the crosses rather than on the US dollar, so that's where I've put most of my trades. But this has been a really nice move down for me. I did have another trade in, I think, yeah, and I've been knocked out, so there you go. New Zealand dollar, US dollar. I was expecting maybe a little bit more strength in this, so I think I'm going to watch it for a few days, see where it goes. There's no clear picture from the commercials at the moment. We've got a long ratio of 1.82 to 1, but fundamentally the dollar I see is a lot stronger than the New Zealand dollar, so I'm out of this at the moment, and we'll just watch it and see where it goes to. Silver, we've still got sideways movement on it. The commercials are fairly heavily bearish of silver. We're just about slightly above the 50 on the RSI, and I am expecting a turn down. This is a positive swap, so there's not a lot of cost to holding your trade. Okay, well, that's it for today. Thank you very much for watching. Hopefully see you again tomorrow. Cheers.